And then there are some that we can't stand. But one has to assume that the movie actors have to love the project they work on, right? What if I tell you that's not the case every time? In this video, we take a look at actors who absolutely loathed the movies they starred in. Starting with the curious case of Shia LaBeouf. Shia has starred in hits such as Disturbia, Lawless, Nymphomaniac, and the Transformers series. But he is notorious for his project, and he's not shy to speak his mind, even going as far as to dismiss many of his signature roles, which is quite rare for an actor of his stature. He once told AP News that he wasn't impressed with Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. He said that although people love the film, he doesn't see anything that he can contribute to the project. He went on to say that the film had lost a bit of the relationships, and without the relationship, it's just a bunch of robots fighting each other. What's more, LaBeouf was also critical of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He told the Los Angeles Times that he felt that he made a mistake with a legacy that people so loved and cherished. He might be an amazing actor, but it seems that Shia doesn't like to be PR trained. Harrison Ford. Just about any list of the greatest sci-fi films ever made has to include Blade Runner. Ridley Scott's 1982 classic about a cop tracking rogue synthetic humans across a futuristic Los Angeles is still beloved today for its visuals, its performances, and the many mysteries buried within its story structure. Blade Runner is also remembered for overcoming not-so-lovely reviews, extensive financial turmoil, and development hurdles. It's a movie that persevered against all odds to become a cult classic. But that's not the headline. The most shocking part of this movie is that its lead, Harrison Ford, actually hated this movie. While frequent re-edits, re-releases, sequels, and spin-offs have kept new audiences finding the film and falling in love, the main actor and star Harrison Ford apparently isn't one of them. In a 1999 interview, Ford said that no matter which cut of Blade Runner he watches, he responds the same way. "I didn't like the movie one way or the other, with or without the voiceover the studio forced him to record," he said. "I played a detective who did not have any detecting to do. In terms of how I related to the material, I found it very difficult. There was stuff that was going on that was really nuts." Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson was one of several young actors, including Kristen Stewart and Anna Kendrick, who had overwhelming fame thrust upon them, seemingly overnight, with the original Twilight film. The Batman brought him back to franchise work, but Pattinson has also proven himself to be predominantly art house-minded, working with David Cronenberg and Claire Denis, and in films like Good Time and The Lighthouse. Pattinson can make strange indie films in no small part because he became extremely famous after playing Edward Cullen in 5 Twilight films. Based on Stephenie Meyer's massively popular novels of the same name, they drew a rabid fan base to Pattinson. And while he's well aware of what the films did for him in terms of status, he was never actually a fan of the films themselves. While promoting the films, he once admitted that it was weird to be kind of representing something you don't particularly like. Asked in a movie phone interview if he'd go see a Twilight film if he wasn't in them, he responded, "I would just mindlessly hate it." In the years since, however, he seems to have warmed to the films. "Now the intensity has died down," he said in 2019. "And it's just very warm memories." But we should note that Robert has redeemed himself with his role in The Batman, leaving the thirsty vampire persona behind. He's now a bat. Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe's life changed forever when he was cast as the title character in the Harry Potter film series. Radcliffe played the lead role in 8 different films across an entire decade of his life, quite literally growing up on the big screen. He's since used his Potter clout to work on a large number of smaller scale projects, from horror films like The Woman in Black to strange indie fare like Swiss Army Man, the TBS comedy series Miracle Workers, and even playing Weird Al Yankovic. Radcliffe has fond memories of his time as the boy wizard and always seems happy to share memories of making the Harry Potter films. However, there is little doubt about which film is his least favourite to watch. It's hard to watch a film like Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince because I'm just not very good in it. "I hate it," Radcliffe said in 2014. "My acting is very one-note and I can see I got complacent and what I was trying to do just didn't come across." Megan Fox. We've already talked about Shia LaBeouf hating the Transformers franchise. However, you'll be surprised that Megan Fox too has a dislike for the films. Fox starred in Michael Bay's Transformers in 2007. She plays the love interest of LaBeouf, who gets caught up in the earthbound adventures of Optimus Prime and crew when they show up on their doorstep. Since Transformers and its sequel brought Fox a great deal of fame, you'd think it would be at the top of her list of favourite projects. That is not the case. Fox was let go from the production of the third Transformers movie, primarily due to a falling out with Bay. She told Wonderland in 2009 that Bay was a nightmare to work with. He's like Napoleon. He wants to be like Hitler on his sets, and he is. Following something of a public feud, and Fox's replacement by Rosie Huntington-Whiteley on the next Transformers film, Fox and Bay reconciled, even working together in the rebooted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films. Looking back since Transformers and its sequel, Fox has said she hates her acting. People are well aware that this is not a movie about acting, she told Entertainment Weekly in 2009. Once you realize that, it becomes almost fun, because you can be in the moment and go. The funny thing is, Megan Fox got a ton of recognition from these movies, and her beauty from the movies is a topic of discussion to this day. Ryan Reynolds has starred in several high-profile superhero movies, but he only truly regrets one, Green Lantern. Intended to launch a franchise of DC Comics films, Reynolds was at the center of it all, and anticipation was high while the film was in production. The film had all the right names and story beats of the comics, but all the anticipation landed with a thud, collapsing in a brightly lit CGI mess that didn't even include a real suit. The movie did so poorly at the box office that it upended DC plans at the time, breaking the whole DC universe in pieces. Reynolds hasn't been shy in the years since joining in on the joke. Reynolds has mocked his performance and various aspects of the film on multiple occasions. In Deadpool, his character asks that his superhero suit not be green, referencing the CGI monstrosity from Green Lantern. Here's another Green Lantern jab in Deadpool. Who knew the failed superhero Green Lantern would make sure an iconic Deadpool? Zac Efron. High School Musical was a massive success, and it launched the career of multiple stars, including Zac Efron. Not only was the film a hit, but it also spawned 2 sequels, and Efron starred in both of them, playing Troy Bolton. Efron was a teenage heartthrob who could sing, dance, and look good doing it. After he put those films in his rearview mirror, Efron got to work playing more diverse roles. While Musical made him a star, the way Efron sees it, his most awkward stage in life was also immortalized for generations of teens. Efron discussed how the role made him feel in a 2021 interview with Men's Journal. "I step back and look at myself, and I still want to kick that guy's asterisk sometimes," he said. "He's done some kind of cool things with some cool people. He did that one thing, Neighbours, that was funny. But I mean, he's still just that kid from High School Musical." Ben Affleck. Among other notable roles, Ben Affleck has played a superhero twice. Well, 3 times if you count Hollywoodland. He became Batman in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and continued his grittier, angrier Dark Knight through several DC Extended Universe films, including both Justice League movies. His first foray into costumed crime fighting, however, didn't receive any encore performances. Affleck played Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, in the 2003 movie, a notorious dud at the time. While the film featured notable Easter eggs for fans who had long hoped to see their hero on the silver screen, it deviated from the source enough to provoke others. Affleck's performance isn't terrible, but the movie features some bad acting, crummy dialogue, and several scenes that deserve to reside in the bottom of the discount bin at your local 99-cent store. In 2015, Affleck admitted to Entertainment Weekly that the film was a misfire. "Daredevil didn't work at all," he said. "That was before people realized you could make these movies and make them well. There was a cynical sense of put a red leather outfit on a guy, have him run around, hunt some bad guys, and cash the check." Matt Damon launched to superstardom with Good Will Hunting. That role was undoubtedly iconic after all. He won an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. The film launched Damon's career to new heights, and it helped him land his most iconic role, Jason Bourne. Damon first played Bourne in The Bourne Identity, and has since appeared in 3 sequels. While the movies did exceptionally well and solidified his place as a Hollywood A-lister, Damon isn't a huge fan of the third film, The Bourne Ultimatum. In an interview with GQ, Damon expressed his disappointment with the script, which he credited to Tony Gilroy's deal to write a single draft, take no notes or rewrites, and receive an exorbitant amount of money. Despite pointing out the script as the reason for the film's lackluster performance, Damon doesn't hold Gilroy accountable. "It's really the studio's fault for putting themselves in that position," explained Damon, discussing Gilroy's contract. "I don't blame Tony for taking a boatload of money and handing in what he handed in. It's just that it was unreadable. This is a career ender. I mean, I could put this thing up on eBay, and it would be game over for that dude. It's terrible." Emilia Clarke. Let's put some big Hollywood names in a movie, and it should work, right? Well, that's what happened with Terminator Genisys. Unfortunately, the movie was deemed a disappointment, even if it did gross more than $440 million at the worldwide box office. And it underperformed so badly that the planned sequel was scrapped. Clarke spoke with Vanity Fair about her experiences filming Genisys, noting that she'd seen the film's director Alan Taylor get eaten and chewed up on Terminator. "He was not the director I remembered. He didn't have a good time. No one had a good time." On top of that, Clarke expressed relief that she wouldn't have to make any more Terminator films. She also said the crew on that production was spotted wearing jackets that read, "At least we're not on Terminator." Well, that's all for today. What are your thoughts on these famous actors hating these films? Did we miss any? Let us know in the comments.